Welcome to the Explainer. Imagine your upcoming Cambridge mathematics exam as a massive, unforgiving wasteland of tricky questions. Today, we are going to navigate that exact wasteland and claim your absolute grade treasure. We're tackling a topic that is literally guaranteed to appear in every single Cambridge exam series: partial fractions. Whether you're currently studying syllabus codes 0580, 0606, 4024, 4037, 4040, or our absolute main focus today, the 9709 AS and A-level mathematics course, the overarching strategies we are discussing right now are non-negotiable. They are absolutely vital. Mastering 3.1 algebra, specifically breaking down partial fractions that involve linear factors, repeated factors, and quadratic factors, is essentially your ticket to a top grade. It's a topic that examiners absolutely love to test, and yet, frustratingly, it's a topic where thousands of students hemorrhage easy marks every single year. But not you. Today, I am going to show you exactly what senior examiners are desperately looking for and how you can structure your working to guarantee maximum marks. We've got a ton of ground to cover to get you exam ready, so let's jump right into the challenge.
So why do so many smart students drop the ball here? Well, the core issue isn't just about the math itself. It's entirely about avoiding common analytical pitfalls under pressure. To really understand this, let me introduce you to two archetypal students we see panicking in the exam hall every single year. First up, we have Alex. Now, Alex overloads his answers with raw math facts. If there's an algebraic expansion to be done anywhere in the question, Alex will literally fill an entire page with it, completely losing sight of the actual analytical requirement of the prompt. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we have Sam. Sam rushes. Sam looks right at the final destination, completely skips the crucial working out, and totally misses the command word requirements hidden in the question. When we put their flawed past paper answers side by side, it is just a sea of red pen marks. Alex loses marks for unstructured, chaotic rambling, and Sam loses marks for failing to show the fundamental method. They both end up walking away with the wrong final grade, not because they don't know the math, but because they simply don't know how to play the examiner's game.
Here is our exact chronological breakdown for today. This structure is going to shift your mindset from merely hunting for a final number to actually proving your logical process. We're hitting the challenge, the 3 types of factors, the 5-step sequence, the method mark strategy, and finally, those top examiner moments.
Let's start with Part 1, the Partial Fractions Challenge.
The absolute most crucial point you need to internalize right now is that examiners are testing your connected, conceptual understanding. They are not testing your rote memorization. They prioritize analytical depth over superficial breadth every single time. So what does analytical depth actually mean when you're staring down a complex algebra question? It means recognizing the underlying limitations of a mathematical model. It means deeply understanding the specific assumptions you're making when you equate coefficients, and it means formally justifying your chosen method on the page. Let's do a really quick mental exercise together. Imagine you are the examiner, and you have 2 past paper answers right in front of you. Answer number 1 just slaps down a final integrated fraction at the bottom of the page. That's it. But answer number 2 clearly sets out a formal identity, deliberately substitutes really smart values for x to eliminate variables one by one, and then explicitly checks the result by equating the highest power coefficients. Which one of those demonstrates a much better grasp of the underlying principles? It's the second one, right? No contest. That specific depth of analysis is exactly what secures top marks. Before we continue, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now.
Moving right along to Section 2, the 3 types of factors.
Okay, these are the 3 exact, non-negotiable categories you must systematically analyze the second you open that test booklet. Distinguishing between this key terminology is exactly where so many students initially stumble and crash. Let's break this down piece by piece. First up, we have your linear factors. This is your standard a over x minus 1 plus b over x plus 2. It's the baseline foundation. But then examiners love to turn up the heat with repeated factors. This is the exact trap where our students Alex and Sam always seem to panic. Listen closely. If you have an x minus 1 squared in the denominator, you absolutely need to write a over x minus 1 plus b over x minus 1 squared. If you forget that second part, your entire calculation is literally doomed from step 1. You will score 0. Finally, we have the quadratic factors, the ones that cannot be factorized any further. For these, you must remember to use the specific form ax plus b over the quadratic term. If you just chuck a single constant a up there, you're showing that superficial breadth we talked about, not analytical depth. Recognizing exactly which of these 3 specific beasts you're dealing with is the critical first step in transforming those red pen marks into beautiful green check marks.
Which brings us nicely to Part 3, the 5-step sequence. This right here is your mathematics success blueprint. By rigorously following this step-by-step staircase, you guarantee that you are evaluating alternatives and drawing evidence-based conclusions exactly how the senior examiners want to see them. Let's do a live mental rewrite of Sam's rushed answer right now using this framework. Step 1. Identify key elements. Sam looks at the denominator and now correctly spots a repeated factor. Awesome. Step 2. Apply relevant principles. Sam sets up the correct algebraic identity with the constants a, b, and c. Step 3. Execute analysis with clear working. Instead of skipping ahead, Sam clearly writes out the substitution of specific x values to find a and b, and then systematically equates the coefficients to find c, showing every single line of working on the page. Step 4. Verify results. Sam takes an extra 10 seconds to plug a random value of x into both sides just to ensure the identity actually holds true. Step 5. Present an appropriate format. Sam writes out the full final partial fraction clearly at the bottom. Boom. We just went from 0 marks to full marks. This total transformation is entirely based on adopting this logical sequence. Stop scrolling. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. We've helped thousands of students improve by 2-3 grade boundaries. Join them right now by subscribing to at acetheexams_IGCSE and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly exam strategy sessions.
Let's dive into Section 4, the method mark strategy.
If you take away anything today, let it be this. Here is exactly what examiners are frantically looking for. Showing clear working out is just as vital as finding the correct final number. Let's really talk about how marks are actually allocated on a typical 5-mark partial fraction question. Usually, you get 1 mark just for the correct algebraic identity setup. Then, you have 2 incredibly important marks known as M marks or method marks. These are strictly awarded for demonstrating a valid method to find those constants. This means systematically substituting values or explicitly comparing coefficients. The final 2 marks are A marks or accuracy marks, reserved for the correct numerical values. Now, if you do all the complex math in your head, or scribble it on a rough piece of paper, and just write down the final answer, you completely throw away those M marks. However, if you make a tiny, silly arithmetic error but you showed a totally flawless method on the page, those M marks will absolutely save your final grade.
Practical application requires you to actively use appropriate terminology and clear annotation to make your logical reasoning undeniable. Think of this as a quick find the flaw challenge. Consider this heavily flawed piece of working out from a past paper. Therefore, 3x plus 5 equals a times x plus 1 plus b. So a is 3 and b is 2. What is the fundamental issue there? The massive flaw is that the student didn't explain how they determined a is 3 and b is 2. They didn't explicitly state by equating the coefficients of x or by substituting x equals minus 1. The examiner commentary heavily penalizes this exact omission. So next time you sit down to practice, give yourself the time to write just one perfect explanatory sentence alongside your algebra. Just a really quick note saying identity formed or equate x squared terms to find b. You have to prove the process to the examiner.
Finally, let's look at Section 5, Top Examiner Warnings. We've scanned the principal examiner reports, and they consistently highlight 3 devastating mistakes that cost students easy marks every single exam season. Let me be clear, these aren't complex integration errors or advanced calculus slip-ups. These are fundamental breakdowns in basic presentation conventions and format application. Let's break them down right now so you never, ever make them.
These missteps in presentation conventions are the absolute quickest way to sabotage your method marks. Mistake number 1, forgetting proper format. Students will routinely and correctly find the specific numerical values of A, B, and C, but then they just leave those numbers circled randomly at the bottom of the page. The command word in the question explicitly asked you to express in partial fractions. You absolutely must rewrite the entire original fraction equated to your newly split fractions. Mistake number 2, forgetting to check your presentation. Are your minus signs clearly visible, or do they look like a smudge? Did you accidentally merge a fraction line so it looks like one giant denominator? Mistake number 3 is by far the most insidious, providing answers not specific to the context given. Sometimes a partial fraction question is just part A of a much larger question, and part B requires you to use that exact answer for a binomial expansion or a complex integration. If you formatted your partial fraction in a way that makes part B 10 times harder, you weren't looking at the context.
The classic mistake our students make here is writing a highly generic response instead of actively evaluating the specific scenario provided in the data. When we talk about generic versus context-specific in mathematics, it generally means adapting your final algebraic form. For example, if you glance ahead and see the next part of the question asks for a binomial expansion, bringing the denominators up to the numerator with a -1 power is a context-specific, highly strategic move. It proves to the examiner that you are thinking 2 steps ahead. It is all about applying a complete system and knowing exactly what the specific, subsequent parts of the problem require before you ever finalize your answer format.
You must ensure your final conclusions reflect the specific assumptions, limitations, and headings requested in the prompt. By doing this, your progress bar towards maximum mark potential will hit 100%. It's about combining that deep analytical process with a format that exactly matches what the examiner asked for. Decode the command words, apply your step-by-step framework, and manage your time. Students who implement these mathematics strategies see an average improvement of 2 grade boundaries, but only if they practice consistently with our weekly videos. Here's your final reminder. Subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Subscribe right now to @acetheexams_IGCSE and click that bell. Don't let another exam pass you by. Drop a comment below with your target grade for mathematics and the biggest challenge you're facing. Our team responds to every comment. Like and share this video with a study partner. Ace the Exams. Your Cambridge success starts here.
Keep this method mark strategy at the front of your mind during your next past paper, and you will be securing literally every single mark available to you. I want you to ask yourself this provocative question before your next study session. Are you just going to blindly hunt for numbers like Alex and Sam, or are you going to build an undeniable logical process that absolutely no examiner can fault? The choice between superficial breadth and analytical depth is entirely yours. Thanks for joining me in this explainer. Keep applying that step-by-step sequence to every single question, and I'll see you next time.